Hi everybody, my name is ATTY Frekhtman. I'm a jury lawyer, a trial lawyer here in New York City with offices in the Bronx, Queens, 2 in Brooklyn, 2 in Manhattan. And we've been talking in this video series about, the lawsuit process. Because clients often call and they ask, what's the status of my case? What stage of the process is my case in? And how soon am I going to get paid? Which is the ultimate question that everybody wants to know. So I thought this would be helpful to explain all the different stages. So we talked about stage number 1, which is pre-litigation or the investigation. That's when a client first calls you and you investigate the case. We talked about filing the lawsuit. That's the second stage. And we talked about the third stage, which is discovery, when we obtain information from the other side and the other side obtains information and questions our witnesses and we question their witnesses. So this is the fourth stage. This is known as the trial calendar. After discovery has been completed and we certify to the court that the case is ready for the trial calendar, the case gets placed upon the court's trial calendar by the filing of what's known as a note of issue. And when you first get an answer, like when you file a lawsuit and you first get an answer, that is known as joinder of issue. And then when you file the trial calendar, when you certify all discovery is complete, that is known as a note of issue. And it might be just some old language that was used, I don't know, in the 1800s that New York just kind of kept for whatever reason. Hopefully in the now that we're in 2020, hopefully we can come up with some new language for it. But basically, once you file the note of issue and you put the case on the trial calendar, you're in line and you're waiting in line for the ability to go into the jury coordinating part and to be sent out into a jury room to then begin what's known as voir dire, to begin your jury selection. And so you'll be given a panel of jurors, usually like 15 to 20 jurors, and you can begin to question them and see which of those jurors may be good for your case that you would want to keep, and then you get to start the trial. But the process in New York, because New York City is so busy with so many cases, the process from getting on the trial calendar until the actual jury selection in some counties could be like 3 years. The fastest I've seen really in New York City maybe is 1 year or a little bit less than 1 year. So it's a long window. So what happens in that time? Well, usually in that time, if there's some discovery that is outstanding, for example, there's like one medical exam that the defendant's doctor failed to do or wants to do, you can do that discovery while the case remains on the calendar. The other thing you can do is you can try to settle the case. So you could set up a mediation with the court, or you could do a mediation with a third party such as JAMS or NAM or another provider. And usually it's retired judges and there's a fee. But a lot of the times what we've seen is if the defendants give you a good faith offer and show that they're really serious about settling the case, and they give you that good faith offer before you agree to mediation, then once you come to mediation, if you come prepared and you have all of your ducks in a row, you have your trial evidence, you have your blow-ups, your illustrations, and you could tell your client's story and explain to them why you believe a jury will allow for a large amount, right? Then they take it seriously and they have the decision makers there from the insurance company. And like 80 to 90% of the time, the cases will settle at mediation. So mediation is a good tool. And if the case does not settle, then it just remains on the trial calendar. And for example, in Brooklyn, what they'll do is they'll call you and they'll say first time on JCP1 and then JCP2. And then by the time it's about fifth or sixth time on, the judge will tell you, this case is now close, it's approaching standards and goals. And that's the court's own deadline for when they want to resolve the case. And in Brooklyn, they're very strict. You have to either go out and pick a jury or your case can get dismissed. And that has to be done 2 weeks before the standards and goals date. So, it's good to have that date as early as possible because then you can prepare and you could have like 6 months or more. You know when the case is going to trial, and then you could do all your final preparations, such as subpoenas to make sure the documents from all the doctor's offices and other documents you want to subpoena, maybe the Freedom of Information law, other things are in the courthouse so that the judge can then call down to the subpoenaed records room and it'll get brought up and you'll have your evidence that you're going to be showing the jury to prove your case. So this is just a brief observation of the trial calendar and settlement discussions. So I hope it's been helpful. And then next time we could discuss the final stage, which is the trial itself. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Click subscribe and turn on notifications so that you don't miss any of our future videos. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask us any questions, and we'll take the most popular questions and we'll be sure to make videos to answer them. So you almost have like a personal private lawyer who will answer your questions for free. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye, everyone.